Today, I'd like to talk about the question you ask me most often. Now, there are many viewers, including Elle, Kunal, TSK106, Will C, Zach, Avjit, Mika, and many more, who would like me to recommend a camera, either from 2 or 3 choices or from the entire selection of cameras available. I find this a really hard question to answer, mostly because I don't know you. Now, there are several dozen things I'd like to know, even just to start narrowing down the choices. From your budget to where you live, from your photography experience and interest to your brand preference. If you're asking me, I assume you're somewhat inexperienced and you don't have a specific feature that you need or a particular type of photograph that you're trying to take. For me, the minimum features I look for in a camera include an APS-C or larger sensor, interchangeable lenses, a viewfinder, full manual control for focus and exposure, as well as the ability to save RAW files. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't like or use a camera that didn't have all of those features. So when you ask, I provide a fairly generic answer, suggesting that you use your wallet, your hand, and your heart to decide. Let me elaborate. I would always use money as the first criteria. Choose a camera you can afford, and not always the most expensive you can afford. To the extent that you can, spend more on the lens than the camera. A good lens can last a lifetime, while a camera may have a lifespan of 3 to 5 years before it either wears out, or a new model just offers so much more that going for an upgrade is reasonable. Worldwide, camera gear prices vary widely. I provide my B&H affiliate link as a reference, but local prices and specific retailers, particularly as a model gets a little older, will have prices that may differ dramatically. I recommend you deal with a local retailer if you can, and that you do at least attempt to negotiate, particularly if you're buying several items, a strap, an extra battery, a flash. Margins on those can be higher, and the dealer will be more willing to negotiate a larger sale. Now, when I say hand, I mean how the camera feels in your hand. That includes size and weight as well as grip. Again, a visit to your local retailer is an invaluable way to see which you can hold easily and comfortably, particularly if you're buying it for travel. But it's also about the buttons. Does your finger find the shutter button naturally? How about the on-off, the rear and the front dials? Try the two-handed grip. And remember that you're going to be doing each of these things a lot. Now finally, consider your heart. I find it perfectly acceptable to select a camera based solely on its appearance, or your affinity with a brand, because you must love your camera. It must be visceral. When you see your camera sitting on your desk, it must engage your pleasure centers. You must want to hold it, take it outside. It must encourage you to take photographs. If you're about to purchase what some YouTuber or blogger suggests is the best camera, do a heart check. Does this camera tempt you, excite you? If you were going out, would you ever leave it at home? A camera that motivates you to take pictures is so much better than a camera that I or someone else thinks is the best. Because here's the secret. Photography is not really about the camera, it's about you. Yes, there's a certain minimum threshold of quality that should be met, certain features that are required to achieve good results. I mentioned those when I started. But that threshold is easily met with models from any well-known manufacturer, and it's easily met with cameras that may be several years old. So let me repeat my answer to Hainam Nguyen 1, who asked, does this camera make me look like a pro? Well, I replied, you look like a pro by being familiar with your equipment, understanding your craft, and behaving in a professional manner. You turn a camera into a pro camera, not the other way around. I hope this helps. Thanks for the comments and questions. It's always nice to hear from you. I do read and reply to all relevant and civil comments, and thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. I appreciate them all.